I'm interested to hear your comments on and your thoughts on like the biggest winner and loser, like team wise, from free agency. Like, give me your winner first, and then I'll go.
So my winner goes in line with the best signing. I think the Red Wings, although they did make some questionable signings, especially Ben Sherrod, I just think that relative to where they were last year, they might be the team that improved the most. Just when you bring in guys like Kopp, Perron, which kind of transforms their top six, and then you also bring in Ville Husso, who's going to actually give them decent goaltending, presumably. I think you become a much better team than what you were. So in terms of like most improved, relative to what they were last year, I think the Red Wings improved the most. That doesn't mean that I think they're going to be a great team. I just think they improved the most.
The Red Wings are never a bad choice. The team I'm going to give is, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here because this is very contingent on a trade that they made, so it's not technically free agency.
So,
the Ottawa Senators, I think, undoubtedly won free agency. Like, this team has just been bad for so long. It seems like they've been in a rebuild ever since Daniel Alfredsson left. Like, I mean, no, less that cup run that they made after that.
They won a cup run.
Yeah. After Carlson left is what I meant. I'm sorry. This team has just been bad for so long, and then they go out and provide like depth upon depth upon depth offensively, going out and get
good up front now.
The most underrated goal scorer in the league into Brinkett, and then going to get Claude Giroux as well. And not only that, one of their biggest problems last year was in the net, and then they go out and get a very underrated Cam Talbot. Like, this team can compete. I think if this team was in the Pacific, I think they're a shoo-in to make the playoffs next year. But I think that because they're playing in the Atlantic, there's literally no chance. I've got into a lot of arguments in our comment section on TikTok about the top six with the Sens versus the top six of the Leafs, and although they're not better than the Leafs, this top six can compete with any top six in the league.
Great.
I just think overall they did a great job. Like, not only that, but because they brought in players without like selling the farm. Like, I think they won the DeBrincat trade. They didn't have to give up too much for him. They also made the best value signing in Claude Giroux, like I just mentioned. This team got better without taking huge hits against the cap. The only thing I think they need less next story is a good shutdown defenseman to play with Shabbat, because they after Shabbat, like I don't even know any like
their defensemen are underwhelming.
Yeah, like Zub is there, and
Zub, Zaitsev.
Yeah, I mean,
like, that's not ideal.
That's tough.
Hamonic, who's pretty trash too. That's the right side. Those three.
I do think that next year Mackenzie Weegar is going to be to be an Ottawa Senator. I'm pretty sure he wanted out of Florida this year. Like, they were looking to trade him to Ottawa. So if he becomes an Ottawa Senator next year, that team is going to be a great team. Disgusting.
Yeah.
But moving on to the biggest losers from free agency, I'll go first. I think, we'll give an honorable mention to Philly, but I think that New Jersey is the biggest loser. They went out and signed Andre Palat, who's a sneaky good player. I just on our last episode, we talked about how that was probably the biggest overpay of the free agency. I think they're the biggest loser because the Gaudreau sweepstakes look like they had him in the bag. Although they did offer him the farm and he didn't take it. I mean, you can't really say much with respect to the organization's ability not to get him. He just didn't want to go there. But then they have FOMO and they go out and get a very underwhelming pullout when the free agency pool was just so deep. There were so many insane wingers to go ahead and get depth, and they just didn't. I don't think they got much better. A big problem for them too was also in net. Like, Blackwood wasn't great last year, and they go out and replace him with Vitek Vanacek, who like had a lot of struggles as well. I just think they're the losers because their biggest problems were winger depth and goaltending, and they didn't get better in either.
They were underwhelming.
Yeah.
No, New Jersey's had a tough couple of free agency. I think they got Dougie Hamilton last year, but they're always trying to be big hitters, and just no one seems to want to go there.
Which is weird because the market isn't small.
It's not terrible. I mean, you're close to New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, Jersey fans probably hate the fact that I said that New York is like a point of enticement for other players, but I think they're kind of irrelevant. Like, they're just meh. Like, they're not. Well, they got the second overall pick this year, but they're always just like there, but they don't really do anything of consequence to make people pay attention to them. So that's probably why. But I have the Islanders as my loser just by the fact that they did nothing, because it was pretty clear that they were in on Gaudreau. They were one of the last maybe 3 or 4 teams, so they were clearly willing to spend money. But then they didn't use that money elsewhere, and that could be, you know, a good thing that they weren't just like trigger happy and that there's, oh, we missed on Gaudreau, let's go get this guy. Like that could be maybe a good thing, but I think there were other ways to improve your team. And the one that stood out to me after I thought about it is, why weren't they in on Pacioretty?
Very
true.
true.
Pacioretty for free, and you were clearly looking for a left winger.
Yeah.
Like, how are you not sort of in that conversation? Maybe they were. Well, we don't know everything that happens, especially with the Islanders, because it's run by Lou, and it's like the freaking Navy over there, armed forces. No one gets to tell anybody anything. But I thought like they were clearly looking to improve, and they didn't really do anything of consequence. So for that reason, I have them as my losers. And the fact that I expect them to be good this year.
Mm-hmm.
If you add something else, like they went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years in a row. They're a great team. And did you just add something else to put you over the top, or to like maybe get the team and the fan base excited for the season after a bad one next year? I thought maybe they could have done more, but
yeah, like not even that. There was Ricard Raquel that was a UFA. There was Andrew Kopp that was a UFA. There was David Perron that was a UFA. There was just so many guys that you could have gone out and maybe given Matt Barzal finally a winger to play with. Like the guy has been playing with, like, I don't even know.
Like Anders Lee.
Like, come on. Like Anders Lee's a good player, but he's not a first line winger.
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't call him elite or like a great player, but whatever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And find the link to our full podcast and all our socials in the description down below.
Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications to get live updates on new videos that we release.